Good evening, afternoon, good night to who's ever watching this at this time. Thank you for spending your time with one guy online. Now I'm about to yap about probably one of the greediest companies in the world. You know them, you love them, Nintendo. Yeah, okay, alright, yeah. Nintendo Corporation doesn't care about you. It doesn't care about your feelings or your nostalgia. And I know it doesn't care about mine. So, I'm going to bitch and yap about it for the next, give or take about 10, 15 minutes. So, if you like yaps, if you like that, sit down, stick around, grab a snack or something, stay hydrated. And also, stay thirsty. But anyway, why do I have this such angst against Nintendo now? Well, I guess you couldn't say angst, just I'm too poor to buy the shit. But what I'm seeing from Nintendo, Xbox, even Sony to some degree, that you don't own the console anymore. Especially if you're buying the Switch too. Because what I've read online, all it is just basically a license to buy a physical system. Which, it's insane to me. Like, how the hell are you paying $500 and you don't even own the damn system? That bugs me. That's irritating. I remember years ago, with the GameCube, the Wii, once you bought it, it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. But as the future progresses, that's becoming a lot harder to see in the current state of the land. Think about it. What happened when Spotify started popping up? You see less and less CDs being made, published, and everything's digital now. You don't own your Spotify account. It's a license for you to listen to the music. And I'm guilty of this. I love Spotify. I use Spotify every single day. But it's weird now that I know about what goes on in the streaming community, especially with the musicians. It's honestly terrifying. Imagine you put days and hours and years into an album, right? And you only receive, pennies on the dollar for each stream. But you got to have it constantly repeated. Which is fair because think about it. People don't listen to music, with like a active ear. They just usually listen to the background. I know I do. And I guess it's better than owning a wall full of CDs or a hard drive full of songs. To be honest, I think I'd rather have the hard drive of like bunch of songs than to keep paying for Spotify Premium. But I don't mind it because, again, I guess it's the way you consume the content, right? Like, for example, even when Netflix started popping off, the idea was so crazy. It's like, damn, I can watch any movie that was made in the last 100 years. Almost. Now, with the divvying up of all these streaming services, I mean, come on. There's Disney Plus. You got Paramount Plus. Hell, I mean, you got HBO Max. You got so many that I probably couldn't even list them all. I just named the big three right there. And it's just really, really odd that you don't own the content you consume anymore. Well, I guess technically you don't own it in the, intellectual property sense that you own it. But even the way you consume it, you don't own it. It's a license for you. And now that's coming to gaming. That's invading gaming a lot. Think about it with PS Plus, Xbox Gold, and their bonuses. I don't even think Nintendo Switch, well, I guess you do have the bonuses with like the, NES Classic and SNES Classic. You just you. I mean, I wish you could be able to buy them outright. That's the thing I want. Like, you buy the console, you buy the games, regardless of you know physical or digital. You should still be able to own the games. Now, if you buy the games physically, you do own them. Again, you own them, and like you own that copy, that instance of the game. And obviously, you can't go in and like mod around with the multiplayer because that would just be cheating. But if you're doing it on like like a own server or something, that would be funny. That would be cool. That's you know, especially with the modding community. I know you don't have the modding community too much on consoles, but on the PC, you have a bunch of bright people, smart people that make the game add more substance to the game, add more nuance. You might see more systems that the developers weren't even thinking about. That's something I like. But I guess as I progress and as gaming progress, I think we find just too many differences and trying to keep up with the gaming culture. I still haven't bought a PS5. They've been out for what, 5 years now, and I haven't even I thought about buying one, but I was like, what's the point? There's going to be a new system out in not even probably 4 years from now. And look, you got the regular PS5, right? Then you have like the PS5 Pro. It's only going to be a matter of time before they launch like the PS5 Expert or PS5 upper management. It's just crazy to me. And I just, man, I wish there was more and more independent console manufacturers. That way you wouldn't have this. Now, yeah, we had the Ouya, okay, but that didn't pop off. And then we had the Google Stadia. They tried to do the whole streaming thing with games, and they failed massively. And I mean massively. Dude, that was a stain on Google's entire legacy. Well, not too much. I remember I had Google Plus. Because I do. That was funny. I was like, damn, Google's trying to get social. And nobody downloaded it. Nobody even interact on it. And they had to axe it. That was funny. But I get why these companies are, turning more and more to streaming games, because it's cost effective on their end, cost effective on the customer's end. But they're taking all the agency out of it. And I fear that gaming is just going to become another mindless consumption and production line rather than the art it actually is. Because I'm a believer that video games are probably one of the most ultimate forms of art. Because think about it. You have literally every single art form that has ever been invented, composed, written. It's all in there. You can't tell me there's not a game that doesn't have any of those things. And I also believe that video games will probably compose of any art that will ever exist out there. I don't care what comes up in 2030, 2040, hell, even 2050 and beyond. Games will still remain a part of, human culture. And I know people say, oh, video games make people violent and yada yada yada. I'm like, have you not seen movies? Have you not heard music? Have you not seen art, or, my God, even read literature for that point? It's not that art makes people violent. It's people that are violent. Humans are already violent to a degree. So I don't understanding why the skepticism with any new form of art. And I want to say that while I do not particularly enjoy AI art, it's becoming alarming that it's just being used for novelty. It's just people want the art, but not the art. But that's just me. Like we can see,